Good evening and welcome to softball headquarters here at West Beach in South Australia for the final minor round game of the Adelaide competition season. Tonight's game is Glenelg Rebels versus the Port Magpies. Joining me tonight, Lee Hull. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you, James, and good evening, everybody, from me to you. It's rather a chilly night here. I'm looking forward to this game. It's the last roll of the dice for these two teams. Surely there's some pride to be played for here, and I'm certain that's the way they'll attack it. Neither
teams will feature in next weekend's finals, but you're right, they are playing for a little bit of pride. Just go out on a high to end the 2017-18 season. We will go into the lineups later in the game, but some key ins and outs. Megan Wheatley's going to be missing for Glenelg, but Steph Trzynski comes back in. She's fresh on and returning from New Zealand, where she was named pitcher of their club championships.
Fantastic, and Courtney Shepard is replacing Megan Wheatley in the catching position. Courtney's only young, so this will be a wonderful experience for her. And both teams have a lot of young players tonight.
Yeah, plenty of young talent on show tonight for the Magpies. Talia George is a big loss. She's normally their lead-off batter. This gives Ella Forrester, speaking of young players, an excellent opportunity as lead-off tonight.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And on the Glenelg side of things, I've spoken about Courtney Shepard. Look forward to seeing how she's going. Their outfield impresses me. Cara Davies, Caitlin Carroll, and Regan Lambert. Regan Lambert, good number one hitter, lead-off batter for Glenelg, has been there all year.
Yeah, of course, and the players to watch for the Magpies are always the American duo. We've got the pitcher in Mackenzie Thompson and the Stars outfielder in Vicki Mcfarland.
Catching, Vicky's catching, I had to take a double take on that, and so that gives Georgia Murphy a chance to play in her centre field position, which is just a straight swap for the two.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the action tonight. We'll be right back with you with the action. Port Magpies versus Glenelg Rebels.
We've got Bell, who just went and took second. She can't even go back, and she's still going. Now she's going to try to slide into third. And she's saved!
She did it. She's done a good job in back-to-back innings. A little bit of trouble on it. She's got out of it, and this is hit up the middle. It's a nice play for one. Throw over to first, and she got her for two! And this is hit hard, deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone!
But she's, I'll tell you, Jenny is not going to let the ball go past.
Comes inside, and she's to do, and here it is, and she's towards center. Will this drop? A diving catch!
Tell me you're serious.
That's a great play.
Back a little lead. There she goes. That's a long shot to left field. Sophie Hoyle. It's a home run. It's an automatic run for the Glenelg Rebels. We were just talking about her power. We were just talking about her wheelhouse. And into the breeze. Thank you very much, Lee. A home run to Sophie Hoyle. We are just around the corner from finals, Lee, but we've got one more game to go here on Spacequake Sports for the Adelaide competition 2017-18 season. Tonight's game, Port Adelaide Magpies and the Glenelg Rebels.
Well, I'll take you around the field on the defensive side of things for the Rebels, James. And the battery is Mackenzie Thompson pitching to Vicki Mcfarland. That's correct. Vicki Mcfarland's catching. At first base, Caitlin Cattuso. Third base is Maddie Matchke, and the holes at second base and shortstop, it's Ella Forrester and Megan Williams. And the outfield from left to right, Charlize Callaghan and Georgia Murphy and Emily Cattuso. Bench sitters, Taylor Chillingworth and JJ Callaghan.
Regan Lambert's leading it off for the Rebels tonight, watching the first pitch low for a ball. That's umpire Mick Bendel calling the balls and strikes tonight from behind the plate.
Yes, and his assistants tonight, Kevin Tannenbrink at first and Ian Gray at third.
High for ball two for Regan Lambert, so she's got off to a good start, getting herself into a good hitting count early. Swinging at that one for a strike. That was low, probably the bottom of the zone, so a good pitch to get after, and that's the first strike for Thompson. Always good to get a strike early on in the game.
Certainly does. Get you back up a bit.
And carefully watching that one through the strike zone this time to even the count at 2-2. Fouling this one off, it was slightly inside, and look at her hands right up the top of the handle there, Lee, shortening the grip probably a little more than most, but you know, whatever's working for her. She's been a handy lead-off for the Rebels this season.
She certainly has, and she's been at the top of the order.
This one's off the end of the bat. It's going to be spinning hard. She's going to beat that one out as Catuzzo comes just off the base slightly, but you know what? She may have beaten that one out, Lee. So Lambert lead off on for the Rebels.
Yes, I think she would have. Throw was just a little bit short. Wind's picked up a bit, so I think it held it up in its trajectory.
Terrific running technique from Lambert as well, obviously taking after her mother. That's going to be popped up to the catcher, Mcfarland, for the first out. So bunt attempt from Neves has just gone foul and within reach for rookie catcher Mcfarland.
Yes, and she won't get much easier catch than that, I wouldn't think.
Welcome to the game. There you go. Take an easy one while you can get it. Just in the replay, that was inside on Neves. Low for ball one on Caitlin Carroll now.
Not quite sure they're going to be doing much stealing on this arm here of the catcher.
Yeah, well, it's a very impressive arm from centre field, but can she get up and in a good throwing position from catcher if she's not used to it? So it'll be interesting to see if they take her on. Caitlin Carroll fouling that one off and evens up the count at 1-1.
There's a girl with speed, speedy runner, Caitlin Carroll. Main thing is getting on base to use that leg speed.
Lays down a great bunt. It's straight back to the pitcher in Thompson, and she does the cleaning up very well. Well done. She didn't panic, did she? She didn't rush. She made sure she fielded the ball and then fired across to first base for the second out. So 2 out now for the Rebels, but the runner in Lambert is in scoring position. As we've watched there, just very upright in her running technique, but just couldn't beat out the throw. Sophie Hoyle up now for the Rebels. This is one to watch for the fans of the long ball. Now, Sophie Hoyle knows one way, and that is her way.
Right? Yeah. And also, with a battle like this, if you're coaching somebody like Sophie Hoyle, you know she's not going to go down looking.
Very open batting stance and fouling that one off down the left field line. If that had just been a metre to the right, Lee, we're probably looking at a run and then Sophie maybe even finding herself at second or third. So and look at Coach Apolsky as well, right at the front of the coach's box as well. I'd be deep for Sophie Hoyle. She likes to pull the ball and she hits it hard. So she's in the line of fire.
I'd be behind the fence, James. Yes, I agree with you.
Hoyle, 1 ball and 1 strike.
She's moving back a bit now, Tracy.
She likes that one just above the belt high, and Thompson's a good exponent of the rise ball. So this will be a good battle if she throws it up there again, because Hoyle's got strong, powerful hands and a good swing.
Never going to die wondering, Sophie. Love batters like that.
Just some composure as well. She's got behind in the count. She didn't want to be rushed. Pulls out, calling timeout. So good battle right here. Change up. It's going to go to centre field. And a single is going to score Regan Lambert. So Glenelg get off to a terrific start. Sophie Hoyle with the single, the RBI single, scoring Lambert. And she's got on to first. It's a good read on that change-up.
Yeah, she just held her hands back on and just hit it to a gap, made it land on the green, scored the run, the opening run.
Well, here comes another impressive young player, a product of South Australia. We're very proud of her. She's been named today, Lee, to go and play in the Pro League in the US, the National Fast Pitch Pro League in the United States for the Aussie Spirit team today. It is Stephanie Trzynski.
Oh, that's fantastic, James.
Just
So
recently,
straight off the press.
Yep, straight off the press today. Softball Australia making the announcement. 2 other South Australians also going over there, Belinda White and Jordan Lambert. So it's been a huge year for Steph Trzynski since returning from college from California University at Berkeley. She played for the Stars at National Championships with a terrific ERA. Made the Aussie squad, played in the Denso series right here at the end of January. She fouls this one off. Then she went and played the Asia Pacific Cup against teams like China and Japan and Italy and Chinese Taipei and New Zealand, and then just over the last couple of weeks been playing abroad in New Zealand at their club championships, winning the pitching award there. So what a massive start to the year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not just a resume, Lee, that's over the last 10 weeks.
Yeah, well, for the last 10 weeks. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quality player.
All right, she's 2-2 in the count at the moment. Watches that change up, top of the zone, just asking the question, and yeah, it just came through a little high, but obviously catching the top of the zone for a strikeout. So Glenelg Rebels do the job in the first inning. They score that run. If you can score 1 run an inning, you're going to win most games.
I agree with you 100% there, James. And she was just ducking down then too. So whether that influenced umpire Bendel, we'll never know.
Now, Lee, just as we're just about to see Glenelg take the field. I'll get you to call out the lineup just a moment, though. I've just been told a good friend of ours here at Softball SA, he started his career as a softballer. He signed with a Major League Baseball club, the Detroit Tigers. He's watching right now. I can see that right here on the feed. Jack O'Loughlin, he's watching now from the United States. He's moved over to the States to play for the Detroit Tigers franchise team. And it's his 18th birthday today. Happy birthday, Jack, from all of us here at Softball SA and Spacequake Sports. We hope you're enjoying yourself over there in the States, mate. Also, my nephew's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Nike, happy birthday, mate.
Yeah, good. Well, Jack, a message to Jack that you cannot drink alcohol until you're 21 in the States, so maybe bad luck for your birthday today, but well done. Fantastic player.
He actually played for the SA Open men's team as a 15-year-old in softball. And then the Detroit Tigers signed him, and that was the end of his softball career.
Okay, well, around the defensive side of things for the Rebels, on the corners, that's Steph Trzynski and Sophie Hoyle, first and third. Lauren Jury is at second. Jess Nevis is shortstop. And the outfield, Regan Lambert's at left. Caitlin Carroll's at centre. Cara Davies is at right. The battery, Kushla Brewster to Courtney Shepard.
Well, there you go. So interesting changes for the last game of the year. We see young Courtney Shepard getting could very well be her A-grade debut from the stats that we've got in front of us, Lee. She hasn't featured this year, so could very well be her debut. So good luck to Courtney.
Yes, exactly. And 2 bench sitters for the Rebels. They are the Meads sisters, Alicia and Taylor.
Hopefully we get to see the Mead sisters get a game tonight. Good start from Kush the Brewster, firing that one in there for a strike. And speaking of the young talent of this state, it's Ella Forrester up to bat, so under 15 regional player last year. She's in the Dragons program. And they are playing this weekend, Lee, the Dragons program, and it's final selection week for the trip to Singapore in the Asia
Pacific. Exciting,
James,
exciting. Exciting news it's going to be for people.
That one catching the very bottom of the zone there for Ella White. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Kush has done the bulk of the work for the Rebels this year, Lee, pitching 56 and a bit innings. You know, she's not a strikeout pitcher. She's got 25 of them, but she's done the job for him. Well, there you go, a ground ball to start things off, and she does the job again for the Rebels. So Lauren Jury it was at second base, just got a bit of a nasty hop. I think that one might have come off the end of the bat there, spun off the dirt, and she ended up making a good play.
It impresses me, Lauren Jury. Every time I see it, gives you 100%. Can't ask for any more than that.
Vicki Mcfarland, the hitter for the Magpies, has a running bunt attempt, and I've got to say that's uncharacteristic of Mcfarland. She's, you know, leading the league in batting averages, Lee. She's a 529 batting average with a 750 on-base average there from 52 plate appearances. Anyone would kill for batting stats like that.
Of course. And talking about people with leg speed, this young lady has plenty of it. So she is a real danger on base.
Okay, behind in the count early here, so 2 strikes. Brewster will be looking to get this one right out of the zone. Change of pace, and going to get a pop-up to left field. Regan Lambert camps under that one for a great catch. 2 quick outs for the Magpies. The Rebels are rolling here with a bit of momentum. That 1 run in the first inning has really given them a bit of pep in their step. Up to bat now, the most improved player in the competition from last season, in my opinion, Lee. That's Megan Williams, hitting 351, a 448 batting average, one of the league leaders in RBIs. Looking to get the Magpies started here in the first inning.
Yeah, I concur with you fully there, James. She was a very good player. Seacombe last year as a defensive player at shortstop, and now she's added some batting to that and makes her a really complete player and a great help for Port Adelaide. I think they only have 4 players from last year, from my recollection, that are playing here tonight, or part of the Port A-grade team.
Well, she's been pretty patient so far. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. If she gets one close, she'll be going for sure. Low for ball 3, so just improves her position that little bit more. Still a hit and count.
Yep.
Up in the on-deck circles, Mackenzie Thompson, the pitcher, she's also had a pretty good season with the bat. Williams fouls that one off, and just great example of the attack on the ball that she's had this year that's, you know, just paid off for the Magpies, and a great acquisition.
Yes, she's a very good defensive player. As I mentioned before, she's made a lot of outs from shortstop.
Just reaching for that one a little, but enough to kill it off and foul it to keep the count full. So just eager to get the team off to a good start, I think, isn't she? She's just reaching for that one. She creamed the one before.
Yeah, and I think Kushler just kept a little bit off the pace of that one. Like that.
Again, just reaching for it a little there. Did that foul it off into her own leg or foot?
I think so.
Or she just seemed to... was she stretching it? Was she
Stretching.
Did she feel
I think she was just thinking smart a little bit.
Well, Brewster deals. Williams gets under this one. Lambert took a good catch to her right against Mcfarland, this time to her left against Williams. So 2 great catches from Regan Lambert out there at left field for the Rebels. That's her on screen. And so the Rebels looking the goods after the first inning, Lee. It's always important to get off to a good start.
Yeah, and I think 3 up, 3 down after you score the opening run is a big plus for you. Play with confidence. The last time I saw Glenelg play with this amount of confidence was in the game against the Hills a couple of games ago, where they scored 6 runs from 7 hits in the last innings. And it had not been for the sensational catch by Pippa Adkins at centre field, they would certainly drawn the game, if not hit the front. So shades of that I see tonight, so that'll be good.
Yeah, the Rebels only winning the 1 game since Christmas. That was against Seacombe, which inevitably ended their finals run, the Seacombe Tigers. And, you know, one of the good things that happened for them this side of Christmas was that comeback against the Hills. It was probably agonising for the Hills to go through that game, but for everyone else that was watching, it was such an exciting finish to the game. And yeah, unfortunately they just fell short.
Yep.
Okay, Lauren Jury it is for the Glenelg Rebels. You just mentioned before that she impresses you, Lee. She goes...
It's her attitude that impresses me. She plays at second, quick to the ball. She's got quick leg speed. When she gets on base, she can run.
She just has a good swing at that one there. It's a pop-up to the left field. And great catch by young Charlize Callahan. Under 15s player lead. Went away regional championships in January and part of the Dragons program along with teammate Forrester there. So very good catch. Watching it on the replay, she got a good read on it, got comfortable and took a good catch.
There's a few Callahans in the mix, isn't there, that we'll see in years to come, I'm hoping.
Yeah, Paris Callahan and Janaea, who's on the bench tonight for the Maggies, so she might come in for a pinch hit or a pinch run maybe. Get their talent from their mum, Lee.
Well, undoubtedly, I would say.
All right, so now young talent. We spoke of Courtney Shepard as she was catching in her first A-grade game, we're pretty sure, and this is her first turn at bat, Lee, so she gets a good piece of that one, fouling off, but she's behind in the count. And good patient batting as well, like for someone nervous in their first game, may have swung wildly maybe, but she patiently watched that one low for a ball, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. And goes down swinging, but not a bad turn at bat. You know, that was a good piece of the ball that was, although a foul, do lots for her confidence.
Even the great players go down swinging at times.
Cara Davies now, right field for the Rebels. Batting at 8 tonight. And gets one right on the outside edge for a strike. Now, Thompson, that's been, you know, one of the positive stories for Port Adelaide, who have had many this year, Lee. They came from bottom last year. You gave me a pretty good stat earlier on before we started the broadcast about their runs scored.
Yeah, I think it was, last year I think it was 21 runs scored from 25 games. This year, before this game, it's 23 games they played. I think they're 85 runs. So that tells you a story, doesn't it?
So she's helped keep the runs against down, but also helped with the batting as well. She's got a good shot from Davies, but it was Megan Williams at shortstop to end the innings for the Magpies. So a ground out. And the third out, and it went pretty quick, didn't it? So we've had probably about 7 or 8 batters retired in a row for the whole game, so we're moving along quite quickly. I'll just finish off what I was saying. Mckenzie Thompson thrown 80 innings for 70 strikeouts, ERA of 2.275, so been very handy for Port Adelaide this year.
Yes, I wonder whether they'll come back. I wonder how many of the imported players will come back next year. Time will tell.
Very good question, because there's a few out there, isn't there? You know, obviously, Walkerville have got their import pitcher in Gabby Snyder. They had Chelsea Cohen return twice. Sturt had Monica Perry return 3 times, or play 3 times. So I think the internationals do like it here.
Yes, I'm sure they do.
And it's always a good sign when you have players return. Well, it's actually going to be Mackenzie Thompson leading off the second innings for the Port Magpies, and Kusha just having a couple of words with young catcher Shepard. They wouldn't be too far apart in age, but Kusha's got a bit more experience in the A grade because of her position that she plays as pitcher. So she's come from Strathalbyn in the Hills, the Strathalbyn Panthers League. And she's been a very impressive junior in the Hills and come to play for Glenelg in the Adelaide competition.
And she's got a very good attitude, Kush. Her expressions do not change no matter the situation, and that's a good start for a pitcher.
Yeah, it's still youngly. She's in her final year of under-19s this year, so she played under-19s twice for the state. And that included the final last year, and was it 3rd this year, Lee?
3rd, yep.
So pretty good record at national championships for Kushla. So we got Mackenzie Thompson, 1-1. Had a big cut at that first one, didn't she, Lee?
She did.
A bit out of the zone maybe, but maybe she likes them a little higher in the zone. You can see that she's got the war paint on, that glitter underneath the eyes. Hopefully that doesn't put her off her swing, and Brewster manages to get that one by her for a 2-2 count.
She's not playing half a shot at it, I can tell you that. She's having a real good swing.
So it's a pitching battle right now. Brewster obviously pitching for the Rebels. Mackenzie Thompson in the box, pitching for the Magpies. And Lee, they both wear the number 19 as well.
I wonder what the significance of that is, if there is any.
Fouls that one off. Very interesting to hear Port Adelaide coach yell out hold. There was no runners on base.
Yeah, so just practice, I think, for Butch.
All right, full count for Thompson. Has another swing at that one for a foul ball.
First base, Steph Jasinski spending a fair bit of time on that glove, using her teeth, which is a no-no. You tell your own children not to use your teeth to tie things up with.
And a good turn at bat in the end after a couple of big swings. She was able to earn herself a walk, and so Port Adelaide have their first base runner for the game, and that is pitcher Mackenzie Thompson. So Katuzo is next up to bat for the Magpies.
Can hit the ball, this girl.
She's had a great year, Lee. She's 17 hits for the year, 274 batting average, 409 on base. Been very important for the Magpies, and geez, has an aggressive swing at that one first up, as we saw Mackenzie Thompson do. We saw Vicki Mcfarland have a running bunt attempt at the first one. So we're seeing a lot of first up strikes, or first up swings at least, for the Magpies. Obviously a tactic. We just heard Butch Sims, the coach on third base, call out, be aggressive, be aggressive. Oh, she's in no man's land. Great play from young Shepard, nearly getting her first victim. Nothing better than throwing a runner out as a catcher.
No, that's right.
Well, she got a massive lead-off, didn't she? She saw the ball go low. She took a big lead-off, but it was a great pick-up from Shepard and a great throw over to first. Just didn't get her in time. Oh, great play and a good catch. Double play for the Rebels. Kushla Brewster gets a return ball straight back at her. Gets a good read on it as well, because it didn't come as quickly as she originally thought. Let's watch this replay. Off the end of the bat for Katuzo. Yep, she got that good read on the ball, and then straight over to first, and Trzynski for the double play. Things are rolling for the Rebels. Good shot from Murphy. Up the middle, and Jess Neves with a great play.
Neves.
So a shot up the middle, Lee, but she got across to it in time. Georgia Murphy was the batter. She got a good piece of the ball. Let's watch this replay. She got plenty of it. Just couldn't beat it out, and not so far away. And you could see the disappointment on Murphy's body language there on the replay, Lee. Pretty disappointed because, you know, 8 times out of 10, those shots go right up the middle to centre field.
That's right. That's where it was heading, but Jess Neves had another idea.
Here's another angle. She just knocked it down, kept it close by, and fired a throw across. Terrific pickup from Trzynski to finish the play. So, geez, the Rebels are looking the goods tonight, Lee. Defensively, you can't fault them.
They're buzzing, and that is a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's so important to finish the season off on a high as well, isn't it? Because, you know, it just gives a little bit of enthusiasm for the group. You know, there's some good signs for next year. So, good on the Rebels. Can they sustain it for the 90 minutes?
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell. Kushla Brewster, who is pitching for the Rebels, is now up to bat. And sees
Pitcher,
that one.
yeah, it's
That's
pitcher
right.
versus pitcher, and they like that situation. They like sitting them down, don't they? Any pitcher.
We can see the signals there from Vicki Mcfarland, just making sure that they're clear and they're steady. There's no quick flashes here for Mcfarland. We watch it. It's at a 3 and a 1 there, so pitch and then location. So that's a ball, and so we've got 1 ball and 2 strikes now for Brewster. So Glenelg looking to foul ball from Brewster. I was just about to say, Lee, Glenelg looking to emulate what they did in the first inning. That was get a lead-off single and then try and advance her. And it was Sophie Hoyle that got the RBI in the first inning. So Brewster it is. And then we've got the top of the order next up to bat. And strikes out on a rise ball. So that's the first out for the Rebels. It will be Regan Lambert now back up for a second turn at bat.
We're looking to go back-to-back with safe hits here, Regan.
Beat out an infield single, didn't she?
Yep. Oh, hello, there's a dispute between the pitcher and the stand-in catcher.
We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that. I can't see anything wrong with her signals at the moment. It's the one that she wants and deals Regan Lambert just watching that one inside, maybe a little high as well. Just is really watching that ball carefully, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what you want from your lead-off hitter. You know, take your time. You know, force the pitcher to slow it down.
And she gets this one up the middle, but Ella Forrester moves off across very well to her right-hand side and makes a good play on that ground ball and firing across for the out. So Regan couldn't beat that one out, and that's 2 quick outs for the Rebels.
There's been a few quick outs so far in this game, hasn't there, for both teams? Now it's Jessie Nevis.
Who popped up the first time to bat. Watches the first one this time around for a called strike. Ground ball to Ella Forrester. No, this one's beaten her. It's gone up the middle. So the Rebels with a 2-out runner on base now through the Neves single, and Caitlin Carroll now up to bat. At what stage are they going to, take on the new catcher's arm? I mean, yeah, she's a veteran player, 4 years at college. She's played overseas for the last few years as well, but she's never played catcher. Carroll chops this one straight to the ground, and it bounces over Matchke's head at third base for a single. Neves advances to second base, so great hitting from Carroll.
Certainly was, and there's nothing the third base player Matchke could do about that. Just bounced up high over the top of her.
Yeah, great shot, and well done from Callahan out at left field to get across quickly. Now, runner in scoring position for Hoyle, Lee. Great shot, heading out to the scoreboard. The Port Adelaide outfield was in a little shallow. That's going to score both runners, Lee, and she is turning for third, standing up. 2-run triple to go along with her RBI single in the first, Lee. She's got all 3 RBIs in the game so far.
Probably was a good, well, in retrospect, could have been a good move to pass her up then, I think. Get to Steph.
Well, there you go. So it was Neves who scored from second. They went on the hit. Caitlin Carroll put the burners on, and she scored from first, and Hoyle stood up at third. The Rebels are rolling, Lee. I've said it a couple of times already.
Just keep it going. They are rolling.
If Trzynski can get a shot here, Lee, it's really going to make it hard for the Magpies from here. Great change up from Thompson. Now Trzynski obviously not known for her hitting, but she's very capable.
Yeah, she is.
Rips into that one. Just one of those natural athletes, a talented netballer in her youth, and obviously she went on to massive achievements in softball, under-19 national championship, 2 junior world championships.
I'm throwing the change up here right now, again.
Well ahead of the count, well ahead of the count. On for the rise ball, and Trzynski managed to get a bit of bat onto that one, but not a bad call from you, Lee. She's swung and missed at the first change-up that she faced, but I think Thompson was thinking rise ball to get her swinging out of the zone. That's that change-up, and Williams will make a relatively easy catch. Well, she made it look easy at least. She had to break back to her right and take a catch on the edge of the dirt. So Port Adelaide make that third out, but not before the damage that Sophie Hoyle's left behind. A 2-run triple to extend the lead out to 3.
Yes, a lot of coaches with the intentional walk will not play it early in the game, but there was a classic case then with 2 people on and Hoyle to bat. She makes it land, there's 2 runs. So, and then Steph just pops it up to shortstop. So,
well, if we were watching a West Torrens game, Lee, you wouldn't have had to say that, because Dave Gooley would have had no trouble at all calling the intentional walk, and you know, just those sorts of tactics is, along with a very capable field and batting lineup behind him, have made the West Torrens Eagles the minor premiers and, in my opinion, Lee flag favourites. So you know, that's just the difference in the coaching tactics. Obviously, Walkerville have got the ace pitcher, so they may have still gone at her and you know, maybe get her to chase a bad pitch or 2, but not on that occasion. It was a good opportunity, like you said, for an intentional walk. However, it's all hindsight now, isn't it?
of course, we move on.
All right, so Charlize Callahan now up to bat. She's played in a couple of games so far this year, and she's been pretty tidy in the field. So we saw her take the catch earlier on, and she's got a 400 on-base average, but only from 5 plate appearances. So great piece of the ball, chops it to shortstop in Neves, and she makes a very good play. So not only did she have to make the play on the run, but she had to be quick, because Callahan had some wheels up the first base line.
That's true, and it's Ben Nevis doing a mountain of work there at shortstop.
Okay, Gattuso up to bat now. This is Emily. Caitlin Gattuso. Apologies, Caitlin. Caitlin Gattuso up to bat. 10 walks through the year, 6 hits for the year so far. So she's obviously a very patient hitter. 438 on base average, and she's done the bulk of the plays in the infield as well. 127 putouts. Gee, she's been solid, hasn't she, for the Magpies this year? Great shot opposite field. Lauren Jury breaks back to take a good catch, and well done there to the Rebels. Geez, they've blooded a young infielder there in the absence of Jamie Mead, who's at college. Hello to Jamie if you're watching. And of course, Montana Edwards, who is one of the bright stars of the future of Softball SA, but has been under a bit of a illness cloud this half of the year with some glandular fever.
Yeah, and Monty, they'd miss Monty because she can play in a variety of positions, mainly catcher or second, but no, they certainly. So we hope that she's travelling a lot better now.
But the good news for Glenelg is that they've got a future A-grader right there, just getting a few games under her belt in Lauren Jury. So let's go to Maddie Matchke now, and the number 9 hitter for the Magpies, so only just getting through the lineup, and it's the bottom of the third late with 2 out. So it's been pretty good so far for the Rebels. The only base runner was the Mackenzie Thompson walk. She was forced out on a double play.
Well, they've been very tight, haven't they, the Rebels?
All off the back of a great job from Kushla Brewster so far. So good. So we're at the 37-minute mark, so we're over a third of the way. So the Magpies need to make a run sooner rather than later. Low and just out of the zone for a ball, so evens up the count at 2-2. Chops that off the plate, and Brewster has to do the fielding. And Maddie Matchkey beats that one out. So another runner on board for the Magpies, and we're back to the top of the order for Ella Forrester. So let's have a look at this replay. She's deep in the box. She chops down at the ball there, straight off the edge of the pitching plate, and Brewster having to do the fielding because the infield was back and deep with 2 strikes and 2 outs, so weren't expecting any short play, that's for sure.
No, and this is the first runner for the Port side in this game so far. 1, 2, 3, yep.
So Forrester now, who was the original leadoff. Gee, she's had 2 running bunt attempts with 2 out, Lee. That's very interesting play, I would have thought.
Yeah, very quick then, Trzynski on her feet, wasn't she?
Yeah,
that was the difference between getting the out or getting the runner safe and the pushing somebody into a scoring position.
Yeah, we'll be able to see her movement here. It was high and outside. She comes in and attacks hard. Lauren Jury does well to to handle that one. And, well, Port not able to advance that runner on that running bunt attempt with 2 outs. That was what the play that surprised me, Lee. But however, it's all said and done now. Let's go through, Lee, the finals race. Now, although there's 2 games on tonight, we already know the final positions on the ladder. West Torrens, of course, we just mentioned them just previously, who finished top of the ladder, will go in favourites for the flag this year, but they have to get past the Walkerville Cats this Saturday night, Lee. They're playing on Diamond 2 at 7 p.m. and it's 3rd versus 4th, the Hills Heat in their first season in the Adelaide competition. A grade playing against the 4-time reigning champion Sturt Falcons. So that game will be broadcast live here on Spacequake Sports on Saturday night, 7 p.m.
So both games on the same time.
Yeah, you do see a lot of semi-finals played at the same time, just so you can't influence, it won't influence the way that you play a game, but I don't think it really matters in this instance because the losing team on Saturday night's game, West Torrens and Walkerville, will have to play the winner of the Spacequake game, and then they'll return to Diamond 1 on next Wednesday night. So we've still got another Wednesday night game this year, and geez, it's going to be a fair old decent battle for the flag this year, Lee.
It certainly will be.
All right, Lauren Jury up to bat for the Glenelg Rebels. Just chops at that one a little, pops it up, and Ella Forrester able to take a pretty simple catch in the end. And obviously the intentions were there to get the ball into play and try and leg one out, but unfortunately she just got under it a little and popped it up. Courtney Shepard up to bat for her 2nd time for the Rebels, and although struck out last time, she didn't look out of place, did she?
No, she looks quite composed.
And pretty watchful so far a second time around. First one for a ball, and that was high out of the zone. This one was a strike down the middle. So Shepard now has seen a strike and will be looking to go on a good pitch. Great cut of the ball, just slightly lifted the eyes a little there at the back end of the swing. So if she can just keep her eye on that ball a little longer, it'll stand her in good stead. But behind in the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got a pretty good piece of that one on a good swing as well. So a foul keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I tell you what, the future looks bright for our sport, James, with all these young people with talent coming through.
Just gets a piece of that ball, but Maddie Matchke, although having to negotiate the third base there, she was able to make the catch. So, geez, we thought that one nearly was going to drop in, didn't we?
Seemed to be a very clever little shot from Courtney.
Just meets the ball there, pokes at it, and Matchke takes a good catch. Yeah, you were just saying about the future looking bright for South Australia. I mean, terrific programs that we've got in place here at Softball SA. The Dragons program, now part of the Little League International. And also we've got our battery programs. Our state under 15 teams did quite well this year. And I would say every single club is using players either in the under 17s, if not under 15 age group in their A grade this year. So really supporting the talent from their own club, giving them opportunities to play at the highest club level.
Yes, and it is fantastic, James, as we've mentioned before, many occasions. You give them the opportunity, just a sniff, with some of them, just a little sniff here and there, and stands them in good stead when they become a regular A-grade player.
Yeah. Well, Cara Davies just calling time, and Mackenzie Thompson just wanted to finish her pitch then, I think.
Oh, just having a little game of catch between her and Vicki.
Just a little self-indulgent. I'm sure her family's watching back home in the States, maybe just a little bit of extra TV time to say hi to the folks.
Well, that's one way of doing it.
Okay, so it's a 2-2 count, and Cara Davies is up to bat for the Rebels. Thompson shaking off Mcfarland till she gets the pitch that she wants, and there she goes. That's why she wanted that pitch. A strikeout pitch is her rise ball, and Mcfarland definitely getting a bit of a lesson in what it takes to be in the battery tonight.
What to call and what not to call.
Very intimate relationship, the pitcher and catcher, Lee, and when you can get in a positive frame of mind and you start to think the same way as the pitcher or the catcher thinks, it's the start of a beautiful friendship, and it's the key for every team as well, isn't it? The pitcher-catcher relationship we see for West Torrens. We've got an experienced catcher in Carly Allen catching for the young Maddie Scott. And then on the flip side of things, you've got a very experienced collegiate player in Gabby Schneider, who's going to be pitching for Walkerville against our young star catcher in Chelsea Robinson. So, just 2 different batteries, but, it doesn't work unless you can start gelling, and that's going to be key for the finals. Yes,
and just talking about pitching and catching, you catch to Jared Farrell a fair bit, so you have the same rapport with him when you play state. It's exactly what you said.
It helps that he's the nicest guy in softball as well, so it's easy to get along with a guy like that.
Excuse me, I'm just clearing my throat on that statement.
All right, Vicki Mcfarland, catcher for the Port Magpies, up to bat now, a second time at bat against Kusha Brewster tonight. Watches that one for a strike. So she's had a bit of a mixed bag tonight, hasn't she? A swing and a miss on a running bunt attempt, and watched a couple of strikes so far today. Hard hit to shortstop. She tries to beat that one out, but not in time. Jess Neves playing a great game tonight at shortstop for the Rebels.
I tell you what, that was travelling at the rate of knots. Jess was up at the task, and Steph Trzynski, a huge stretch. Correction, a huge stretch.
Look at her run. She's
And
got
she's
some
smirking too.
yeah.
Trzynski's got that smirk about it now.
Well, Megan Williams up to bat now, and with one out pretty quickly as well at the bottom of the fourth. Gee, the Magpies really needed to stand up here if they want to get back into this game. We're going to have a look at this replay again. That was hit so hard. And that is probably what was the cause of her to be out, because if it was a little slower, she probably would have beat it out.
That's it.
Any
That's
harder,
exactly.
it probably would have left a hole in Nevison's glove. Okay, Williams for the Magpies. Patiently watching this turn at bat for 3 balls. That was low, but at the bottom of the zone, so although not automatic, you do see the umpires open up the strike zone a little bit with 3-0 count. There you go, that's ball 4 for Williams, and a runner aboard for the Magpies.
Next hitter is Mackenzie Thompson, the pitcher for the Magpies. So she'll be looking to move her on. Time to take a chance. We've got a young catcher here in Shepard. Time for Megan Williams to take her on, I think.
Williams has got the 3 stolen bases for the year so far. Must have been a hit and run. She's got to go halfway, which she does. And
excellent base running.
Yeah, very good base running. And so Thompson's aboard with a single. So she's been on twice so far tonight, a walk and a single. She was thrown out in that second out of the double play in the second inning. So 2 runners aboard with just the 1 out. Now, Catuzzo, very trustworthy hitter for the Magpies lineup so far this year. It's a piece of this one. Didn't get it all, and it's going to drop short of the centre fielder, but Caitlin Carroll makes a terrific play because the runner had to hold up a little and then had to go on the catch. Now Williams went in hard to third base. Now, was that sliding into the base?
She certainly pulled up short. That was an interesting play then, because she had to hold up. But a great throw from Caitlin Carroll, right on the money.
Oh, it was a late slide.
Yeah, late slide, was it? Yeah, late choice.
Well, she's just standing as we speak and just gingerly walking off as we watch the replay. It did fall short of the outfielder. She had to make her way there as quick as she could. And
just made a late decision to go down, didn't she?
all right, so we will see probably soon whether or not she decides to go on with the game. It's the final game of the year for the Magpies, so no doubt she'll be looking to end the season off as strong as she's been all year. But great shot, Georgia Murphy opposite side, and did that come off the glove or the runner?
Yes.
All right, so the runner scored, and oh, it's just time out there. They're just asking about this. My first intention was that come off the runner and not off the glove. So we might be able to see a replay here. I'm not sure if the umpires saw it, all blindsided. So what's happened was Georgia Murphy, the hitter, has hit the ball in the gap between first and second base, and Port Adelaide runner Catuzzo and first base were around about the same area at the same time. It's got through the gap Mackenzie Thompson scored from second, and Caitlin Catuzzo is standing up on third. So this, we're watching Coach Opolsky talk with umpire Kevin Tannebring. So just conferring what has happened on the play, and so the run is going to count. So 2 out, runners on first and third, and Port are back in the game lead. They've scored a run and reduced the lead 3 runs to 1. It's Charlie's Callahan up to bat.
And it's the first time they've threatened in this game so far, so maybe there's some good signs coming here.
Well, second time through the lineup is important because you've seen the pitch already. Right? You want to start getting a hold. Here we go. We've got a shot of the replay here, and yeah, that looks like it come off the runner's foot, but. Great shot, Charlie's Callahan. So an RBI single for Callahan, and that reduces the lead that they're chasing by another run. It's 3 runs to 2. So a great shot from Callahan, pulling that ball to left field. Lambert got in there quick, but not quick enough to stop the runner from scoring. And Lee, we're going to come back to that run that scored on the Georgia Murphy hit, because when the ball gets past the fielder, it's allowed to hit the runner.
Yeah, infielder.
But if and so the ball's got past first base fielder instead of Trzynski, and that is why it was okay to hit the runner. I'm pretty sure that's what's happened. Well, there you go. Sophie Hoyle manages to make that play. It was a slow roller, chopped into the ground. So here we go. We're gonna watch this replay. So watch how the ball gets past the fielder, the first base fielder.
Yep.
And because the runner didn't impede on the second base player, there was no interference called.
That's right.
So very good call from the umpires in the end. So although Glenelg, at least, and us at first sight thought that it hit the runner, which it did, the right call was made in the end.
And that's what you need, don't you? The right call.
So that has allowed Port Adelaide to put 2 on the board here in the bottom of the 4th. Was that the bottom of the 4th? This is the top of the 4th now, Lee. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the top of the 5th now. So after 4 innings, it's a 3-run to 2 lead to Glenelg. Port Adelaide with a bit of momentum now. As Megan Williams has made her way out to shortstop, so obviously not too much trouble. All right, Kushla Brewster is the 9-hitter.
We've got a game on our hands here now, James. Let's see Glenelg come back with a run this innings. That's what they need here. Just keep those 2 runs in front.
Any chance of seeing Trzynski in this game at all, Lee, do you think?
Pitching, you mean?
Yeah, well, they're leading 3 runs to 2, and, you know, they've just scored 2 runs against Brewster. Do you go to your ace? Do you want to finish the season on a high?
Well, I can't see the bullpen. I can't see her warming up, so I'm saying no at this stage.
All right, so...
But it's a fair point, James. You raise a fair point. You'd be tempted, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, we're at the 55-minute mark, so still 35 minutes to play. Port Adelaide see Kusher for a 3rd time. You know, we might see some similar results as the 2nd time through the order. Anyway, okay. Kushla Brewster strikes out swinging on that rise ball. So we've mentioned the strikeout pitch of Thompson a couple of times now, and the 2nd strikeout of the game from Brewster. Now, Regan Lambert is going to see Thompson for the 3rd time this game. She's had a couple of infield shots. Unlucky to get out last time at bat. The ball that went up the middle, and great play from Ella Forrester. And then it was a infield single to lead off the game. Big swing at that one for a strike. And watches that one high and out of the zone, way out of the zone for a ball, above head height, actually, Lee. high again for a ball. And we see Lambert into a good hitting count now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now 3 balls and a strike. Hey, great block there from Mcfarland. So she's showing a little bit of talent there behind the plate.
The Regan, just great value, isn't she? Batting leadoff. Gets her money's worth every time.
Just fouls that one off to go to a full count, so a good count to hit. And she didn't quite get all of that one, but enough to kill it off, and she'll get another look at this one.
Well, I'd throw change up here. Her change up's pretty good.
Oh, she's done it again. She's taken another great catch. It's not her first catch of the year, that's for sure. Lee, she's been one of the highlights of the year in the outfield for not just Port Adelaide, but the competition. And then she's just taken a second catch.
And it's her speed getting to the ball.
Out. Very good.
It's her speed that gets her to the ball.
So 2 outs now, and it was Lambert. The second out, a pop-up to the catcher in Mcfarland. Jess Neves up to bat now. She got a single. Last turn of bat, swings at this one, and now behind in the count. 2 strikes to count now. She Port Adelaide make this out, this third out quickly lead. They're going to have all the momentum with 2 runs scored in the last inning. 3 quick outs, including the top 2 batters in the order.
They've thrown the gauntlet down. Gauntlet has been thrown down. Now the Rebels have to reply here. Come on, Jesse.
There's your change up, Lee, and blocked again by Mcfarland. And approaching the hour mark, so about 30 minutes to go. We're in the top of the 5th, so we're cruising along for time. Great pitch, Mcfarland, and catches, freezes Neves, and she can do nothing but watch as that one goes through the strike zone for the third out. So there you go. So Port Adelaide with the momentum now, although they still trail by a run. Lee, you've got an update.
I've got an update. Well, the game is over on Diamond 2, and after 7 innings, Hill scored 1 run. Walkerville in 6 scored 6. So Walkerville victors, 6 runs to 1.
They'll finish the season on 37 points, 1 point behind the minor premier.
Reasonably
in
close.
West Torrens, so a very close finish in the end. And that gives Walkerville's record since Christmas 9 wins, 1 loss. So the most wins since Christmas, but the best record is West Torrens, 8 wins and no losses. So
I'll tell you what, Saturday's going to be a cracker.
it's going to be great. Now, they have only faced off once this side of Christmas, and it was 5 runs to 3 in favour of West Torrens. They hold a winning record over Walkerville, 2 wins to 1 with a draw in the 4 games that they've played this year. So, you know, it's so exciting. Like their games have been close. No one scored more than 5 in a game. Each team has scored in each game that they've played. It's anyone's, really, isn't it?
Certainly is.
On the Heels, on the other hand, are since Christmas 4 wins, 5 losses, and a draw. Tonight's game really didn't mean a lot, knowing that they were still going to finish 3rd and have the home final against Sturt this weekend, Cummings. But obviously no Georgia Hood or Coach Tanya Hood tonight. Oh, great shot, Maddie Matchke to right field. Cara Davies this one just gets away from him, so it'll be a single to Matchke, and the leadoff runner for the Magpies aboard, Lee. And we spoke of momentum just a couple of moments ago. They are rolling now. We're back to the top of the order. So we've got Ella Forrester, and then you've got the hitters in Mcfarland, Williams, Thompson, Catuzzo. So they've got, you know, a very good chance to score this runner. Tie the
They're
ball.
going to, and they're up and about now, the Magpies. So Glenelg need to be tight here defensively. Corners are playing in for what should be the obvious bunt situation.
Well, it is with a young player in Forrester, and she did that running bunt last inning with 2 outs. So another bunt attempt from Forrester, and she is down in the count here on 2 strikes. So she'll need to hit away here and get the ball into play. As a piece of the ball, it goes foul.
Got to be tight here, the Rebels. Really tight.
Well, they have been very good defensively so far in this game. So if they can get a ground ball here from Forrester, you'd think they're a good chance of lead runner at least, and then maybe even a double play. Not in a shot like that. We see Trzynski trying to negotiate that foul ball, but she'll be wanting to stop any that comes her way.
Well, you have this mentality, want the ball to come to you. Every time you get out there in the field defensively, I want the ball hit to me. I'll show you what I can do.
A good patient eye there from Forrester, so that one out of the zone, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. Low for ball 2, so starting to get back into the count a little bit here. So Brewster doing the right thing, keeping the ball out of the zone, trying to get it a chase.
Can't afford to put another run on here.
High for ball 3, so very good batting here from young Forrester. So a full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's 3 runs to 2. Rebels are leading, but they are under pressure right now. And that is ball 4. So from an 0-2 count, she's earned herself a walk, advancing Magpies across to second, and that brings up Mcfarland. Coach Opolski, timely visit to the mound, and this is probably a pretty good call here. Let's talk to the field. Let's remind them that we're in front here. Let's play a lead runner if we can, but let's definitely make an out. All right, if we get a ground ball, let's get an out. That's what the message should be given right now.
It was a terrific turn at bat by Ella Forrester. Such a young player. 2 strikes on her straight away. Comes back, takes the base on balls. Fantastic team batting. Now, what do they do here? Do they pass Mcfarland up, or do they let her bat?
Well, Port Adelaide didn't pass up Hoyle, and it cost them. Right? Will Glenelg pass up arguably the best hitter in the league this year? Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't, but unfortunately, if she plays a running bunt, she may also get safe, as well as pushing the others on.
She smashes this ball. It's going deep to left field. Regan Lambert does a great job to get across. Maddie Magpies wasn't tagging up to go on the catch, so probably looking at being halfway. So we'll see that in the replay. What a great catch from Lambert. She was pretty deep already, but she had to go even deeper. Takes a great catch and gets rid of the ball as quickly as possible to make sure that runner doesn't advance. So
Yeah,
1 out.
But interesting attacking the first pitch, Vicki. Then, you'd think you got the pitcher in 2 minds. Why wouldn't you take your time and just put more pressure on the pitcher? Pitchers love you going the first pitch with this situation.
Well, I probably wouldn't have called one down the middle though, Lee.
No.
As a catcher. It's Megan Williams now. She's been a bit more patient than Mcfarland. 2 balls to start her at bat, so this will test her ankle out for sure. But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Mcfarland having to go at that first pitch because she got heaps of it. It was a pretty deep shot.
It was sitting there, wasn't it? Sitting there fat.
But I mean, Coach Sims probably wouldn't be too disappointed about it either. Let's look at the stat sheet. The 3 batters up to bat with none out and runners on first and second, Mcfarland, Williams and Thompson, and in order, they are leading Magpies batting averages this season.
They are. That's why they're batting in those positions, obviously.
All right, Megan Williams, 3 balls and 1 strike. Still about 23 minutes to play in this game. And she sees that one over the plate and through the zone for strike 2. It is now a full count. So Williams, you see her lunging at the ball when she gets into a bit of a pressure situation. And perhaps something to do with the ankle, because as she went back to the base there, she just had a little bit of a hobble. So perhaps the confidence isn't there, Lee, when you got a little niggle.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the case there for Megan. Now it's Mackenzie Thompson. Can she score a run?
Watching that one low for a strike. So far so good for the Rebels, who were really reeling, weren't they? With none out, runners on first and second, with, you know, those 3 powerful hitters coming up to bat. There's a slash at that one, and that is high and foul for a ball, and for a foul ball, and 2 strikes the count now on Thompson. So,
well, the outfield, for my reckoning, are too deep. They need to catch this ball. Otherwise, it's going to cause a tying run across the plate.
Brewster deals, and Thompson pops this one straight up. The infield for the Rebels need to talk, and Trzynski takes charge and takes a great catch. Hoyle and Trzynski in a foot race to that one, and it was Trzynski in the end that called her out. Let's have a look at this replay. Brewster will back off from this one and let the field do the work. Great play from Trzynski, and we see a good out made, and they've, with runners on first and second with no outs, the Rebels were able to hold the Magpies at bay and maintain that 1-run lead. So we're going to go into the 6th inning with the Rebels leading by 1 run, 3 runs to 2. Now, we gave you an update of the score earlier on, so we know that Walkerville have beaten the Hills 6-1, but Walkerville lead their power in their hitting 9 hits to 3.
9 hits to 3, my goodness.
Yeah, so a few errors made by both teams, though. 2 errors to Hills and 3 from Walkerville, with, is that 8 runners left on base? 8 runners left on base for the Hills, so they got the runners on base and they threatened. So in cold conditions, from what we're being told. So, well, that's the result is probably expected maybe from the Hill from Walkerville winning 6 runs to 1. They've been the form team since the arrival of Gabby Schneider. You could go back to the very first game of the year for both teams. The Hills decimated Walkerville, 10 runs to 0. We thought it was going to be a long year for Walkerville, but they just managed to turn things around pretty quickly after that. It was led by Sally Colquist to begin with, and then Gabby Schneider arrived, and not only did she add to their pitching depth, but also to their batting lineup as well. She's been one impressive player this year, Gabby Schneider, and obviously coached by one of the best coaches that we've got in this state, in Sue Tomlinson.
Yes, 100% correct. I see Megan Williams is out now from shortstop. She's having a sit down, and Charlize Callahan looks like it's come in there.
Succumbing to that injury, obviously that late slide into third base, she tried to tough it out. She went back out to shortstop the next inning and then had a turn at bat, but she didn't even swing at any pitch, did she? She had 6 pitches, 3 balls and 3 strikes, and she watched that third one for a standing strikeout. Okay, Mackenzie Thompson gets Caitlin Carroll, so she fields that one and straight back to her, and quite an easy play for her in the end. She's been very impressive in the field this year. Mackenzie Thompson, so 22 assists on the year so far, plus a couple from today, so obviously quite capable defensively. That's one out, and up to bat's the one that's done the damage so far, or the damage on the Magpies, and that's Sophie Hoyle. She's got 2 hits, she's got 3 RBIs. It's her 3rd turn up to bat. Lee, if one's in her area, we could see one go. I like the look at that one. She had a go. Mentioned before, she likes it just above the belt. Earlier in the season, we called one in her wheelhouse that she towered a shot over the left field fence. Can we see a repeat of that?
I noticed Port outfielders are playing in closer.
That one off the inside, and Catuzzo makes a good catch. So there you go. They have managed to limit the damage that she can cause. And Sophie Hoyle, one of the more exciting batters to watch in this competition, and certainly one of the leading hitters in the Glenelg team. But 2 out now. It's the top of the 6th. Steph Trzynski up to bat. Low for a ball. 73-minute mark. We've just ticked over, so still 17 minutes, but we won't start a new innings with, is it 5 minutes to play? But we will finish an inning if we start one. Trzynski just backs away from that one. It's inside for a ball. Did enough to sell it, but I didn't think she needed to go that far. But ball 2 on the batter. There's a go at this one. It's high. It's over to left field. Is that the new player? Taylor Chillingworth, who came into left field. This one's got away from the ball on the throw in. She's going to go for home. The play at home, she has to slide, a fade away, and she's safe. Well, it was a pretty good shot by Trzynski out to left field. Unfortunately, the ball just got away from Chillingworth. Maybe she lost it in the light. It is a little bit breezy out there as well, so she just probably, conditions got the best of her. She threw the ball in straight away, but it got away from all fielders, and there's Trzynski happy with her work. Scoring the 4th run for Glenelg, and that extends their lead, and it's just what they wanted at this time of the game, because Port Adelaide were rolling, Lee. They had all the momentum. They left 2 runners on base last inning. They scored their runs the innings previous.
Well, full credit to the to the Rebels here. The challenge has been thrown down to them, and they've accepted it. 2 runs in front now.
Lauren Jury up to bat for the Rebels. She's playing second base tonight, and she's been pretty good so far, Lee. Like she hasn't got a ton of games under her belt, but majority of her games did come this side of Christmas. She's got an on-base average of 304, so pretty serviceable if you ask me, Lee. She's had a couple of good shots tonight. That one is no exception. An absolute laser beam line drive, but a great catch from Forrester at second.
Yes, there's just something about this girl, Lauren Jury, that I like. Attitude.
Great piece
Big
of
on
the
attitude.
ball. Gee, that was going up the alley every day of the week, but Forrester gets across. We just saw a little snippet of that replay. Here it is. So Chillingworth gets the ball in. It's gotten away from the infielders there and to the fence. Catuzzo has to come up with a throw, and Trzynski with that slide, fade away slide away from the base, so away from the fielder. And Mcfarland, obviously her first attempt at a tag play at home. She maybe where she was standing was dictated by where the throw was going, but let's watch Trzynski again. She takes off for third. She gets waved along for the slide. That was tight, and the run scored. So I'm pretty sure that the replay button we'll be getting a workout in the Trzynski household on that one.
You can bet on that.
Kushla now with a little bit of room to move. That extra run is insurance. We have still 14 minutes to go. So if Port Adelaide make a play this inning, it may very well be the last inning, but if Glenelg can get 3 outs, we'll go the distance, we'll go to 7 innings, and it will also mean the top of the order for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, and it's this time part of the game where Port Adelaide have shown us in the past, in this season, that they can find something.
Oil with a very strong throw. She bobbled it, but then was able to make amends and throw that ball over to first base for the out. So that's the first quick out now. So Coach Sims has had that aggressive nature this whole season, aggressive swinging early in the count, so getting after early pitches. So that might, and we see another one, and it goes straight to centre fielder Caitlin Carroll. What a great piece of the ball from Georgia Murphy. She's been a little unlucky tonight because she's had a couple of good pieces of the ball. 2 quick outs, so we just spoke of that. We are now still 12 minutes to go, so Port Adelaide might even be hoping for this this third out to come quick. And it goes up the middle. Great shot from Callahan. Is that a second hit?
Yeah,
Lee?
back-to-back hits for Charlize.
Hits for Charlize. So under 15s player and an emerging talent. That is very exciting, Lee. We keep mentioning it. We love it. The young talent in this state. Each club's got them as well. I mean, you look at Seacombe, they've got 3 under 15 players and 6 under the age of 18. Like one of the stars of that team is Cara Schultz, for example. You know, she played as a 15-year-old last year in her first year of A grade last season. And Port Adelaide, you know, Callahan and Chillingworth and, you know, Glenelg with Shepard and Jury, just the young brigade that's coming through.
Yes, and they come, don't they? They come from all clubs, the juniors. And that's the situation we find ourselves in, and it's fantastic.
We'll probably see George Aris featuring for Walkerville in the final series. She's under 15s.
Ramsey.
Yep, Bianca Ramsey.
Bianca Ramsey.
Yep, a couple of other younger players that'll feature.
Riley Moore.
Yep, for Walkerville. And then across at West Orange, you've got a few of those under 17 players that are just bursting to get into their lineup in Ween and White. Good play from Neves to end the inning. So 79-minute mark. We will go to 7 innings. And Glenelg hold on to that 2-run lead. So that was Catuzzo that was out. She bats 8 in the lineup. So the 9-hitter will start things off for Port Adelaide in the bottom of the 7th. Who's starting it off in the 7th inning for the Rebels, Lee?
It's Courtney Shepard, the catcher.
7-hitter, Courtney Shepard.
So it's 7, 8 and 9. Shepard, Davies, Brewster. That's Courtney, Cara, Kushla.
So the way things are going, you'd think that Port Adelaide have got a pretty good chance to have one final go at the final inning in the final game of the minor round, and it will be the final game of the season for these two clubs.
And that'll be final.
So it's coming down to the 7th inning here. Glenelg Rebels 4, Port Adelaide 2. Walkerville Cats running out winners over Hills Heat, 6 runs to 1. That was a 2nd versus 3rd clash, Lee. We may see them come up against each other again this month, but it will be in a final, and by then it'll be a cutthroat final if they do come up against each other. If not, maybe even the grand final, but my tip's still the Eagles at this point. Courtney Shepard watching that first one go by for a called strike. Great shot from Shepard. come off the middle of the bat, and it's rifled past Matsky at third. It did nick the glove, but I don't think you can take a hit away from young Shepard on that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, she's aboard in her first A-grade game, and
Have to bunt. Have to bunt here.
congratulations.
Have to bunt.
Well, if they're looking to bunt, they're looking to extend their lead by an extra. Oh, they've done the work for them there. That change-up has clipped the front edge of the home plate and gotten over not only the catcher but the umpire in Mick Bendel and gone to the back net. So Shepard standing up at second and now in scoring position for 8-hitter Davies. Inside for ball 2 now. This is playing right into the Rebels' hands because Davies and Brewster have both been serviceable A-grade players this year, but after that they go to the top of the order.
Yeah.
Good swing at that one. It was a good hitter's count though, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, time to have a swing, wasn't it?
It's slightly outside, probably just out of her reach, but she still went through with the swing, which was good to see. 2 balls and a strike. Outside for ball 3. What do you think of Mcfarland's catching tonight? Pass mark for her?
Yes.
I think so too. I think she's been pretty good.
Took 2 excellent catches in foul territory.
Well, ball 4 for Davey, so the first 2 runners aboard for the Rebels. It's been mostly Glenelg early in the game, wasn't it? Then it was Port Adelaide and it was teetering, wasn't it? And then the Rebels just arrested that advantage after Trzynski scored, capitalising on a couple of little mistakes there from the Magpies defence. But now they've got their first 2 runners aboard in the 7th inning, the 7 and 8 hitters, bringing up to about the 9-hitter in Kushla Brewster now. We have seen Kushla hit this year. She's got 6 hits so far for the year and manages to get the ball into play more often than not.
Well, it'll be a good time now for the Rebels. But Port have got to shut them down now before they get the top.
Swing and a miss for the first out. But we will go to the top of the order for the Glenelg Rebels and 4th time through the order as well. So each of these batters have seen Thompson 3 times already. Lambert has had that watchful and keen eye so far, so she's seen a lot of pitches already. Gets that change up, doesn't want it, doesn't want a piece of it. They've got all the time in the world here, Lee, because now that we've started this 7th inning, we have to finish it. We're at the 84, 85 minute mark. Lambert with 1 strike. Fouls that one off. She has a good cut at that one. Just got under it and got a little nick of the ball. So,
well, I think if Port can sit Regan down here now, this will be a big plus.
just really needed to advance those runners, didn't she, for Neves and Hoyle and Trzynski. I mean, if we get to Trzynski, the damage will be done. But Lambert now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll be looking just to get this ball into play, making something happen. Just chops at that one and will bounce off the foul fence, the dugout fence. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So
been an interesting game, James, hasn't it? We've gone to the 7th innings, which is all you can ask for in an hour and a half.
Lambert leads the team in walks with 12 so far for the year, and it's a piece of this one. It's taken very well from Callahan at shortstop. She has been impressive tonight, Lee. 2 hits, she made a good catch out at left field and already made a couple of good plays.
Called an infield fly for the second out.
Okay, so 2 outs, that is 2 outs, and we've got a catch a speed up rule, so courtesy runner will be Regan Lambert, and she goes to second base. So if Neves can get this one into play and through a gap, that should score the runner from second. The outfield aren't too deep,
No.
but you'd still probably chance your luck on a speedy runner from second base on an outfield single. High for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Thompson's up the pace here.
Can the Rebels get an insurance run, or can Port Adelaide shut them out? Low for ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Just lost the handle on the change up just last couple of innings.
Callahan again at shortstop. Lee, she has been one of the players of the game for me. Lee, young Callahan, under 15s, and just playing like a veteran out there at shortstop. She's had 2 hits, and she has done her job, that is for sure. So Port Adelaide get out of trouble there too. The first 2 batters got on base, but the top of the order weren't able to move them around, and Port Adelaide, with the final chance of the season, what a big year it's been, and one last chance.
Well, they like to finish it off here, wouldn't they? Just to top off the year. Had a few draws this year. 3, I think, 3 or 4.
Port have had 3 draws and Glenelg have had 2. So as the ladder stands, Port Adelaide will still finish 6th and Glenelg will still finish 7th. But Port Adelaide 7 wins, 7 more than they had last year, and Glenelg with just the 2 wins. Both teams, I'm sure, will be desperate for this win right now. So the Rebels have stuck with Brewster. They're giving her a chance to go the distance, and 7 innings tonight takes her up to 63 innings for the year, and she's given up 97 runs for the year, Lee. So she's on +2 tonight is 99.
1 more for the big 100.
Good pitch to start things off. This is Maddie Matchke, the 9-hitter for the Magpies. She's been on twice tonight.
Well, they need to get her out, then the top of the lineup, Ella Forrester, because then they get Mcfarland, Williams and Thompson. We don't think Williams will bat again, so I'll put a line through her.
1-1 count, and for each of these batters, it's their last turn at bat for the year. Good from Brewster to get a glove on that and stop the momentum. The ball would have been up the middle and a lead-off single, but she's knocked it down and managed to make that great defensive play. First out for the Rebels, and back to the top of the order for the Magpies.
Well, for Port, Ella needs to get on.
High for a ball now. We've seen a couple of bunt attempts so far in the game from Forrester. Are you thinking that she might try and surprise them again?
I'm thinking not, although Steph's playing back at first.
Low for a ball as we look over at Coach Sims at third base, not giving any signals, but the instructions is to wait for it right on the belt. Only down the middle. He wants her to have a patient turn at bat here. Oh, she's been hit by a pitch right on the elbow, and that is important for the Magpies. Hopefully she's okay. She's
cold night.
Cold night. That's going to sting. Yeah.
Good job, Ella.
Oh, hopefully she's okay. She's an important run, but here is the tying runner up to bat is Vicki Mcfarland. Low for a ball now. She went first pitch last turn at bat, was the pop-up fly. Well, it wasn't a pop-up, it was a deep fly ball to left field, but you would have been disappointed that she didn't take a couple of pitches.
Well, she's going to get one she likes here, like that. Gee.
Unreal, what a great piece.
Talking about
ball.
letting out a bit of shaft.
is why she's one of the best hitters in the league, because she can do it all. Those running bunt attempts earlier in the game, and now these long ball hits late in the game. She's so damaging, and now she's got an opportunity for the Magpies in her last turn at bat for them.
Yeah, Courtney Shepard's impressive, not frightened to throw the ball for the pick-off.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
Late in the game as well, yeah. It's, you know, pressure mounting on both teams, and you don't want to put that runner in scoring position, although it's not the go-ahead run. It still brings them within one if Forrester can cross the plate. Brewster low and back-to-back walks for...
Not a bad result for the the Rebels, correction.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier in the game with runners in scoring position. You're looking to put the best hitters on, aren't you? And it's not a bad idea. There is already one out, and the batter on deck was young Chillingworth. She goes for the first one. It's a ground ball to third base. Great pick up by Trzynski, and it's a double play to end the game. The Glenelg Rebels win 4-2. What a great play from Sophie Hoyle. We see Chillingworth get a good piece of the ball. And we'll let, this angle will give us a better view of the play from Hoyle here. She plays her base, fires that ball across, and a great pick up from Trzynski. She obviously did her warm-ups well. She stretched out well to get that one, gather it for the third out, the double play, and the win, Lee.
Well, a great finish, wasn't it? Great finish to the season for both teams, really. Not so much for Port for the loss, but for their season they had this year.
Very exciting for the Rebels to end the season on a high, a 4-2 victory over the Port Magpies. We see Thompson, we see Mcfarland. There's a little emotion there because they are visiting guests from overseas, knowing that it's their last game or the last time they'll take the diamond in Australia, at least for 6 months, maybe for good. We've heard some whispers that Thompson will return home to begin a career. I know Mcfarland's keen to go again, but that is to be told yet or decided. Glenelg Rebels fans are happy as well. They've picked up their 3rd win of the year, and congratulations to them. So well done to all teams on a great season. This Saturday sees the beginning of the final series, Lee. Let's just quickly give you a preview. It's Walkerville versus West Torrens, 7 p.m. right here at West Beach, but the Spacequake game will cover Sturt Falcons versus the Hills Heat, 7 p.m. West Beach, Diamond 1 this Saturday, and then we look forward to your company then, and also next Wednesday in the preliminary final, the winner of the Hills Heat Sturt Falcons game will face the loser of the West Torrens Eagles and Walkerville Cats this time next week. So we look forward to your company as the finals begin for 2018, 17-18.
Good job.